Nice.
Alright, we're 2 days out from the opening of the gun season here in New Hampshire. It's what I like to call the real deer season, but other people got other ideas. Anyways, I look a little disheveled because I just got home from work, running around. Trying to get everything planned up because this is the first year we're doing a deer camp with all the guys that we go around with. I call them the Q2 team. That said, what you're about to watch is a video that we filmed earlier this summer with the guys showing the firearms that they use, and they explain why they use that particular firearm. Y'all know what I use. I'll explain that, and I'll give you a little history on those guns. So, here we go.
Hey Q2 fans. So today we're up at the Champ doing introduction to our guns and stuff, and this here's my Ruger American Predator 308. It's the gun that I choose to carry while I'm sitting in a tree stand. It's compact, move it around well in the stand, and I work for the company, so I'm a little partial to them. I know Rob's not a big fan of bolt actions, but he accepts me anyway. And we took this out one year tracking with him, and it didn't take long to realize that this is not the gun to have on a track when there's snow on the trees, because the scope filled up with snow. I spent most of the day making sure it wasn't fogged up, and it was just a pain in the butt. But some of the things I like about this gun is that it's compact, it works well in a tree stand, it has a tang safety on it, which can be worked with your thumb instead of your trigger finger. Bolt action, short action, and it's got the threaded barrel for suppressors or silencers if you choose to pay the tax for it. And I'm shooting a Vortex Crossfire scope with lighted reticle. I'm going to be using this gun on a bear hunt, and it's with the black reticle. Does not show up well on black bear, so that's why I use this one. And this is my deer killer from a tree stand.
What do you use for bullets?
Oh, yep. So I'm using the 180 grain round nose bullets. Well, I use those for both deer and bear. I started using those when the guide that I'm going to be hunting with up in Maine recommended round nose instead of the Spitzer type bullets that will just blow right through the bear, and bear having the long hair and stuff. The blood they don't open up a big hole, so the hair gets matted with blood, doesn't leave a good blood trail. Whereas the round nose are a little heavier bullet, a little more expansion, makes a bigger hole, and they work well on deer too. More weight, more energy, more knockdown power.
Do you have a specific company that you like for your ammo? Is it?
Yeah, I like the Remington core locks when I can find them, and mostly all we shoot out of these is Remington.
Yeah.
I might do some reloading and try messing around with the Spitzer types, but as far as everything I've killed with this has been with a round nose.
Nice. All right.
Hey guys, here we're back here with my tracking gun, Marlin Model 336. Rob, relax. It's got the JM stamp on it. Yeah, so this gun.
I want to touch it.
This gun was bought brand new by my dad in 1985, around 1985-ish. My dad was a walker, never stood much. Well, he never really saw many deer either because he was more of a runner through the woods. But needless to say, when he moved to Florida and didn't hunt anymore, he gave me the gun, and it pretty much just sat in the back of the gun cabinet. Until a couple years ago when I told Rob that one of my bucket list things was to track a deer, and we went out on track on fresh snow with my bolt action, and first chance I had to pull up, scope was full of snow. So I said, well, I know I have a lever action at home, Marlin. So I took that out and started shooting that. Got so I could hit pretty decent with it, open sights. And this became my tracking gun. And so this year I put a Williams peep on it. Got it all sighted in today. I hit pretty well. Typically I shoot the Remington core lock 170 grain. But with the ammo shortage and not being able to find them, the girls, they picked me up some new ones. They were the Winchester silver tips, 150 grain polymer tips. And so these are what I've been sighting in with, and they've been shooting really well for me. So I guess the big test will be get a deer in front of it. And that's pretty much it. You know, this is my tracking gun.
Nice.
All right, Q2 gang, here we are again with the last firearm that I use, be my CVA Optima 50 cal muzzleloader, or as Rob likes to call it, my muggalugga. He don't like muzzleloaders. Gosh, I don't know why. Because he wants to shoot a 200-pound deer. I think muzzleloader and bow season are the time to do it before the rut starts. And them babies have run off every bit of fat they have on them. But I won't pick on him too bad. Anyway, so I like my CVAs. I've shot multiple deer with the CVA Wolf. Just recently got this Optima, and this gun actually last year shot 2 deer. My wife shot her big doe with it on opening day of muzzleloader, and I shot my big buck on the next day. So some of the things that I like about this gun is it's got the thumb hole stock, it's a stainless barrel, fluted. This is a good gun for the tree stand. It's heavier in hell to carry, so it's not something that I really want to go tracking with. It's topped with a Vortex 4-12 scope, 44mm objective. I really like the Vortex scopes. They absorb a lot of light, good for low light conditions. And I'm shooting 100 grains of white hot pellets with 245 grain arrow tip power belts. I just recently switched over to the white hots from the 777. I find that the white hots I'm able to buy in a quantity that I can split with either my brother or my father. That way I'm shooting fresh powder every year, because one of the issues I was having with 777s is they absorb moisture if they're old, and I sure as hell don't want to have a 200-pound deer stand in front of me and have an old set of powder and just have it go. That would really be upsetting. So I had very good luck with the white hots, and that's what we'll stick with for right now. But this is my CVA Optima.
Tell us all about that super duper gun.
So this is a Remington 7600 pump rifle. It I bought it this year, this fall. This will be my first year hunting with it. I plan on hunting with it this year and the following years to come. It's a 308. It's pretty accurate for the most part. I just got to work on practicing with it because it's something I just bought and I'm not used to it. I've always ran a women's gun, one of those lever actions. And anyway, this one I like just because I've always wanted a pump. I've done a lot of rabbit hunting and I've done a lot of so I'm used to pump shotguns, and so I'm pretty accurate. I've shot a lot of rabbits with pump shotguns, so I figured why not have a rifle and do the same thing with deer. I'm currently using 180 grains, but I'm going to change to 150s, I think, just because they don't pack as much of a punch on your shoulder, and it'll hopefully increase my accuracy over time, just because I shoot once and, you know, my shoulder's hurting. So hopefully the 150 grains will settle the punch down a little bit. I use Remington core locks. I've used those on all my rifles. I used to use them with my 30-30 and I've had good luck with them. So that's just the bullet I've always used and liked. I've tried other ones and I just prefer them just because they're cheap and accurate. But yeah, this is a nice gun and it fits me well, and so I like the sights and everything about it. Okay, so this is a CVA Wolf muzzleloader 50 cal, and yeah, I've had pretty good luck with it. I haven't shot a deer yet with it. Shot at one, but never shot one. I'm pretty accurate up to about 75 yards with it when I'm practicing, and I like it. It kind of fits me. One thing that I like about it is it's kind of short, because I don't have a long span, a huge amount of span on it, with arm span. So yeah, something I would suggest to just about anybody. CVA Wolf, I think it was $250 new or around that, and for that money you're able to hunt a week before the gun hunters get out there, so you can shoot the big ones. But yeah, this is something I'd suggest.
How do you like the sights, Nick?
I'm not big on the fiber optic sights just because I'm not used to that stuff. I've always ran a older gun, and I guess I just got to get used to it. But overall, I can deal with the sights.
What do you shoot for powder and stuff out of it?
So what we shoot for powder is 100 grains of White Hawks and 250 grain bullet projectile of just a projectile we buy. And yeah, that setup shoots pretty good, pretty accurate. I'm not probably going to shoot out 100 yards or anything with this, but I could probably reach out to 60 if I'm practicing at a deer, if I've been practicing. One thing I like about this, you put your primer in here, shut it, and it's locked in. I've had them where they fall out and everything else with these break actions, and then these breech plugs come out wicked easy. You just unscrew them. I've had the older ones where you had to have a special tool, and whereas these ones you just unscrew. Screw back in. To take your bullet out, you don't have to shoot it. Yeah, I like this gun. So, should last. You just got to take care of them and they'll last.
I notice you guys don't have shoulder straps on your guns. Why is that?
My grandfather always used to tell me you're not gonna shoot a deer with a gun on your back. So I've just always never really wanted one. It's just something I've never believed in, is a strap, just because you never know. If you're in the woods, I mean, you could see a deer at any time. And my dad loves his straps, but he doesn't shoot any deer, so. So this is my 270. It's a Remington Model 750 Woodsmaster. It's chambered in the 270 caliber, and well, what I don't like about it is that it jams if you put more than 3 bullets in the magazine. It has iron sights, so they just slide up and down to adjust it. The bullet I'm using is a Winchester 270 130 grain bullets, but I just bought those because they're cheap. I don't really run expensive bullets. Fairly simple gun, semi. Slide it down, chamber a bullet in. But you can mount a scope on it if you want one. Another thing I don't like is this stock. I think it's just because it's the Woodsmaster, but kind of gets in your way when you're aiming. Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
So I use this one for when I'm tracking or just walking around through the woods because it's easy to get a second shot off. When I'm walking through the woods, I like to be able to shoot 2 or 3 times just in case, because you never know if a branch gets in the way or something. But yeah, the sights, it'd be nice if the point was a little bit finer, but they're pretty good right out to 50 yards. I don't think I'd shoot at a deer any farther. I mean, 60, 70, but I wouldn't go shooting across the field at anything with these iron sights.
If you had a scope on it, would you feel better shooting a longer distance?
Yeah, if I had a scope on it and it was sighted in, I'd shoot just about as far as I could see. But there's not many spots in New Hampshire that's too far for a scope, unless you're on a power line or something.
How about the weight of the gun?
The weight, the gun's kind of heavy. It's heavier up front, full on, but for some reason heavier guns fit me. This thing handles pretty good in the woods. You can just throw it around. It's not going to get damaged. It's a pretty rugged gun. Just don't point it at anybody or anything, but yeah, I've had no problems with it besides missing when I had a scope on it. But that was because I didn't have it, evidently I didn't have it sighted in good enough. So this is my CVA Wolf 50 cal muzzleloader. It has a conish scope on it. These scopes are pretty cheap, but they're really good right out to 50 yards. I'm dead accurate with it, and I mean, same exact thing as Next, but it's stainless steel, I think. And we use the White Hots powder. Put 2 pellets in, so that's 100 grains, and those Sabot bullets. But I mean, everything on this gun's really good. It's smooth, shoots good. I've never had a problem with it. It's a really simple muzzleloader and inexpensive for how good it is. I've never had a problem with it, but I like this gun better than the Remington, partly because I shot a deer with it, but also just the weight, and just when I pull up, it's right there already. And yeah, I mean, it shoots just as good. All I would need is 1 shot with this. With the Remington, I might need 2 or 3 shots, but I think I'm a better shooter than Nick because he's just shot at so many deer and missed. He's gotten used to it. And I mean, I would use a 30-30, but those are kind of like to start your kid out with, and kind of for babies. So I didn't want to look not too good with a 30-30.
Okay, here we go. Okay, over the years, you guys have seen my YouTube videos where I'm using one particular rifle. I get asked a ton of questions about it. What year it is, what caliber is it, you know, where did you get it? I mean, just all these crazy questions. So we'll get to that, but I'm going to get to that one last. We're going to start with my newest purchase and work back
to Betsy. So, my latest gun that I own is a gun that I carry during bear season, and yes, I have no qualms about shooting a bear with this gun, and I know there's a lot of you who are going to say I'm crazy, but at 30 or 40 yards, I don't think this is a problem. I don't hunt for bear in particular. It's an opportunistic thing. If one pops up, I'll shoot it. If not, I'm just out there having a good time eating blackberries, and if the bear shows up, hey, he may have a bad day. So anyways, here it is. There it is, a Rossi ranch hand. You guys have seen these. It's from the TV show Wanted Dead or Alive with Steve McQueen from the 50s. And there it is. There's quite a few differences between this and the actual gun that he used in the TV show. One, his was an actual Model 92, chambered in 4440, and it didn't have any sights on it. And it was actually cut off a little bit shorter right there. But, so this is legal with the ATF. It had to be an 18-inch barrel, or 16-inch barrel, excuse me. And it's considered a handgun because it doesn't have a full stock on it. Meaning, I can't legally shoot it like this, or else they'll come and get me. So the way we shoot it is either one-handed or two-handed. It's chambered in .45 Colt. Now I know the .45 Colt isn't considered a really powerful round, especially out past 50 yards. This uses the Hornady Lever Revolution bullet in 225 grain with an FTX tip on it. It shoots a lot flatter than the typical .45 Colt bullet, and it's got plenty of power within 50 yards, even out about to 75, to knock a black bear ass over bandbox. Alright? So we carry this, I carry it in bear country. It's really light, it's easy to carry. I usually have a sling that I hook to the saddle ring here, and it hangs on me just like this, like an AR would. Makes it really, really nice to hold on to, and really cool to carry because it doesn't weigh more than I believe the actual weight is 4.5 pounds, fully loaded. So this is wicked nice and light, maneuverable, and quick. Has the big glove loop on it, which just adds to the coolness factor of it, makes it quick to cycle. This one here still needs to be shot and used a little more. It's still a little stiff. And one of the things I want to point out is if you ever get one of these things and it has the buckhorn sight on it and the front sight, change them. Go to Skinner.com and get yourself one of these scout type peep sights on the front with the larger front sight. They slide in, they go into the dovetails on it, and put those on, because the factory sights cause this gun to shoot 18 inches high at 50 yards. You don't want that. You want to be dead nuts at 50, and now it is. So there's our Rossi ranch hand, saddle ring. All right, really cool gun. Hard to find. They don't manufacture them anymore, but you can find them out there. They run around 600 to 700 bucks. Now, let's get to our second gun.
Just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, this is my number 2 gun for hunting and tracking. This is a 1931 Model 94, chambered in 30 WCF. That's Winchester centerfire for all you young fellas out there that don't know what that means. But that was the original name of the 30-30 bullet. The 30-30 was the first smokeless powder cartridge that any company had made in America. It was considered a high-powered bullet at the time that it came out. It even had more power than the 45-70 did, because the 45-70 at that point was a black powdered round and really didn't have as much power as the 30-30 did. These were the most coveted bullet there was at that point in time. So here's that gun. Now, I bought this gun not too long ago for a very low price because the gun has really got a lot of patina on it. It's in rough shape. It had a side mount scope, Weaver scope on it, 4 power, that I took off and got rid of. Actually, I still have it, but I don't use it. It has flip up sights here, as you can see. has a buckhorn aperture here, and it has on the front, it's a blade sight. It gets held in with a pin. That's a little different than most of the newer ones that slide in on a dovetail. It also has the tapered barrel on it and a half tube magazine, which causes this to be about 1.5 pounds lighter than an Eastern carbine. This is the gun I use when I have a long trip to go on. I have to hike in a long ways or hike a lot of mountainous country in deep snow. This makes life a lot easier carrying a little bit lighter of a weapon that has a lot quicker of a swing to it. This is a really great gun. And I tend to like these older beat up guns like this. It's just I like the patina and the history of the gun. This one actually has some notches in it from somebody shooting deer with it. So this gun has got a lot of history backing it. And it's just a cool gun. So it's a Model 94, 1931. It's got the straight stock on it. It's got the what they call the shotgun pad on the back. It's just a metal straight butt on it. It doesn't have any curvature or anything to it. It's not like the crescent buttstock or the buttstock that's on my Eastern carbine, which I'll show you later. I really like this gun. It shoots really well. It hits target well. And that's my secondary gun. But I just love using these older guns that have all the bluing missing on them. It just gives it a really authentic, early New England feel. This is a typical New England gun right here. It's really cool. So now let's get to the gun you've all been waiting for. The most famous gun in all of Rob Richardson history. It's the gun that you see in all of my tracking videos. It's the gun you see me goofing around with all the time. Here it is. Let me introduce you to Betsy.
Oh my God, it's a lever action.
I know, look at that. They're all lever actions for me. Anyways, Betsy is a 1941 Model 94, also in 30 WCF. Or 30-30. I have to keep reminding all you young folks out there. Anyways, this gun's a little different than that one. It's an Eastern carbine, so it has a full tube magazine, which holds 7 rounds. We only put 5 in for deer season here in New England, in New Hampshire, because that's legal. As you can see, one of the problems they had in the 40s was the bluing usually comes off the receiver. A lot of that's from handling, but a lot of it was a factory defect. It has the more up-to-date buckhorn sight on it, and it has a dovetail front sight on it with a brass bead. You'll find those are 1940 into the 50s, sometimes some of them even into the 60s. This one here has a crescent buttstock, but the one thing that's different about this than some of the crescent buttstocks is it's actually forms up over the top of the buttstock, as you can see here. That's really cool. I've shot almost every deer I've shot with this gun. Shot 2 without it, and they were long distance shots. One was 285 yards, the other one was 125, 160 yards. I can't even remember now. One was with a 30-06 7600, the other with a Model 77 Ruger in 270. Nice guns. I'm not taking anything away from them. They didn't fit me that well. I didn't feel comfortable shooting them. They're made for people with longer arms. These are perfect for someone like me with little T-Rex arms. All right, it fits right. And no matter what gun you shoot, guys, make sure it fits you and it's an extension of your body, that it's part of you. I don't even really aim this gun anymore, except for I'm sighting it in. And a lot of times it causes me not to be able to hit my target because I'm aiming. But when I'm hunting, this gun is just a part of me, and it just comes up perfectly and aims because I've shot it so much. Any gun you use needs to be part of your body. It needs to be an extension. You need to feel that when you're pointing it, you're just pointing your finger, your arm. That's how this one is. And a lot of people give me a hard time and say, Rob, why don't you buy a grown-up gun? Why don't you get something bigger? The 30-30 has plenty of power for 30 to 50 yards where I'm shooting. It's what I feel comfortable shooting. Low recoil, easy acquisition. And here's something else. When you're up in the North Country and you need to go and buy ammunition, trying to find 7mm mag or 6.5 Creedmoor or 6.8 SPC is going to be next to impossible. 30-06, 308, 270, and 30-30 you're going to find. Okay? Why? Because that's the most popular rounds in the United States today. Next to 223 Rem, but I'm not going to shoot that. So, this is my gun of choice. No matter what your gun of choice is, like I said, make it fit you. Make it feel comfortable. Shoot it a lot. Get used to it. Make that gun part of you. Be a one-gun shooter, especially for deer. Once you get down to the point where you have a gun that you can shoot, you know you have the confidence that you're going to kill every deer you point that thing at. There we go. There's Betsy. I don't think I got anything more to say about it except for this is my favorite gun. It's probably something I covet more than anything else in the world next to my dog and my wife. I like this better than I like my truck, and I really like my truck. So, there you have it, guys. There's our guns. What do you guys shoot? And I'm not shitting on anything that you guys shoot. I just think this is the finest weapon ever produced in the United States. God bless John Browning. Mwah. Whew. Okay.
That's a wrap.